Well, now I want to turn to Martin Brechbiel, MMR, for his Scratch Building Corner. Martin, welcome.
Well, it's interesting. I enjoyed that talk from Santiago. It was actually directly relevant to the article that's going to be in the newsletter.
Yes, it is.
Now, if I could just figure out, oh, there it is. Right. Okay. It's been a long day already, so this will be modestly lengthy or short, depending on your perspective. So 2 weeks ago, we made strap hinges, hung the doors, painted and glazed windows, stuff, put on the metal roofs, which were actually paper from Paper Creek, some other odds and ends, lots of other little details along the way. And now we'll finish this and make an end of this. Well, okay, we never make an end of anything. There's always room for later additions, modifications, and what have you. But there's where we went after last week. All together, all painted a particularly noxious color of green, which was deliberate, just because I felt like doing something noxious. Coach green is particularly annoying, but it's just enough to give you a lot of contrast against the gold gray. It's polyscale paints. As much as I love a good snort of flow quill, I decided to go with polyscale. The only issue with polyscale is things do warp occasionally if you put it on too heavy, too fast, or too thick. So a couple of coats, round and round until we got it there. The light over the steps on the entrance to the office, that's actually wired. There's actually it's actually functional as a set of wires on the inside. The office sign is actually made in PowerPoint. Little tiny sign, just scale it down until you get to what you want and stop and hit the print button. We'll just walk around the building real quick, take a quick look at things. We've got some roofing that's been distressed and folded and beat up a little bit, because that does tend to happen. Usually involves the intersection of one's head and the edge of the roof, but personal issues notwithstanding, people bend it over to protect the edges as well. The back windows, nice and clean and straight line, but it doesn't have enough signage. It's kind of boring the way it is. This building doesn't have any identity. We don't know what it's for or who it belongs to or what, if it has a purpose other than to fill up space on this show. So it needs an extra little bit of information. It also needed some other things. So now it's Lomax's welding and sheet metal fabrication shop. PowerPoint comes to the rescue again. Just a simple sign printed out, scaled down, play with the fonts, have fun with it. Got a color green. It's not too nice, roughed up around the edges a little bit. It's not aged enough yet. It needs a little more abuse from the weather and the other elements at hand. And the back is just a couple of pieces of styrene angle welded into the roof, a little bit of tar to help it not leak on the inside, and more of that lovely noxious green just to make the evening so much better. And just another angle for good measure, but we're not quite done yet. I'm afraid there's more. Of course, the obligatory blank wall, the boring wall, which needs a sign. That's why you have a blank wall on a building, is so you can put a sign on it. You can see what happens if you're rough with the building. As you turn it around, the door comes off the hinges. So if I pick it up wrong, those doors will come off. They're actually just hanging there, literally hanging there on the plinths. But wait, yes, there's even more. And we can blame Pat for this. This is all his fault. So I went back, taped the doors in place, flipped it over, added another course of stone foundation all the way around, but didn't stop there. I mean, now you instigated an incident here of aggressive addition. Uh, it's actually on a piece of chipboard glued down. We've got the beginnings, the rudimentary beginnings of some scenery work, some gravel ramps up on the inside for both doors, lots of dirt, some crates and barrels. Gosh, crates and barrels. Where have I heard that before? That being delivered there at the doorway, some debris around back, hiding. Always hide your empty cans around back, right? And beginnings of some shrubs and bushes and stuff and weeds. I just don't have enough laying around right now to fill this in. I need more debris. I'm such a tidy person in my shop. All the debris goes into a quart can and gets thrown away periodically, and the can's empty right now. So, well, except for some scalpel blades, and I'm not reaching in the can to retrieve scalpel blades. I like my fingers where they are. But this could use more, and someday we'll get it, either by me or whoever owns it in the future. I have no idea which way it's going to go. And a little more around the backside. And just for fun, I had a mold for some sort of cobblestone type thing. So I actually poured some of this. It's like a dental stone material, Merlin's Magic material, whatever it is. And I honestly didn't think it was going to come out of the mold without shattering into a bunch of pieces, because it's very thin, actually. This is only maybe 1/8 of an inch thick. And part of it did break, but the rest of it was incredibly hard. And I had to actually saw this up to shape to fit inside there with a hacksaw. And it drops in. So there's more that can be done. Will I do it? I don't know. Maybe someday if and when it snows more than 6 inches outside in a single day, I'll get back to it. But I have other things to do in my life and time to do to keep busy. Someday I have to drill a hole. I have to drill a hole over here, let the wire out the bottom so we can wire that light. But I'm going to call it done for now and go on to the next project, because I'm tired of this one, to be honest, and it's time for something new. Structures are fun. I enjoy building them, but there's a point where I say, that's enough. I have to set it aside. I'll come back to it or not. And sometimes it's not. Next week, we'll do something else. I hope.
Neat looking building. Neat looking building.
So if there's any questions, scream now.
Looks good, Martin.
I like that roof. I really do.
Well, that was fun to do. You have to be a little careful with that stuff, because it's not a straight edge, so you have to cut it out very carefully.
Yeah.
But you want to cut it out carefully, but rough. And
Paper Creek stuff. What was that roof?
yeah, that was the old Paper Creek stuff.
Yeah, I still have some. Okay.
Yeah, I have a couple, not much, but every time I open up the last piece of anything, I scan it in.
Exactly.
I'm gonna print it out on some probably some heavier paper next time, if I can get the laser printer to accept it.
Looks good. Thanks, Martin.
Yep. All right.